We can't thank you enough, Mr. Snow, for those words, your dedication, and your love. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me extreme pleasure to introduce our governor, John Kasich.
Well, today was a great privilege for me. I want to thank all the families who came in to see me. I want to thank you for allowing me to have a moment inside of your family. I hope it helped. Pretty hard to follow up on John Snow's words about his son and loss and heroes. As I mentioned to almost each of you today, you know, when I look at heroes, I have a different view of heroes than I used to have years ago. You know, heroes today are, we have a monument, we might have a flag, we might have a highway named after a hero. It's somebody we emulate and someone we follow. But you know, what they did for other people in serving their fellow man, that's for eternity. That's not just for a sign on a street or a day to be remembered. Because the Creator has been very clear. The Creator's been clear. Those who lay down their life for the life of another wear the crown of glory. Your sons and daughters and spouses, they're with the Lord. And we're all going to be there someday. And we're going to know them when we see them. Because we're going to know them by the crowns they wear on their heads. Scripture's pretty clear. For those who become martyrs, they'll have the biggest cups of all in the kingdom yet to come. And they will be admired and respected. And they'll have big duties to perform in the next life as well. And they'll be honored. And in that life, there'll be no more war. There will be no more sickness. There will be no more death. There will be no more tears. That's the promise. You know, and I think when we keep that in mind, it only in the early days serves as something to reflect on. Maybe nothing that really penetrates, because we're in the grieving period. And just like John Snow, I'm a believer in grief and grieving and surrounding yourself with friends and asking the Lord to help you and becoming a young child again, looking for other people to hold you up. It's the toughest time as you can get. Some families with us today lost sons who are 20, 21 years old. Just so impossibly young. But they're being honored, along with those who lived a little longer life. I love what John said about remembering them. You know, their lives make us better. I told many of you about the death of my mother and father. It was devastating to me at the time. It took me a long time to recover. But my mother and father's death resulted in their son, Johnny Kasich, becoming a better man. They never died in vain. And I love so much now, many years later, to talk about my mother and my father and what they meant. My dad carrying the mail and my mother standing up and saying, "I'm going to express myself, Johnny." Well, the fallen heroes from your family, they really created they've created an image. They've created a goal for all of us to try to follow. And you know what they were? They cared about somebody else. The great commandment, love your neighbor as yourself, they followed it. How can you miss when you're doing that? How can you miss when you're following the plans from the big guy? You can't. The ultimate sacrifice, their lives. Jesse Snow threw himself over the bodies of his friends. Imagine the size of his crown today as he's glorified. Your life is short for all of us. But the lesson of those who've given their lives are, we've got to stand. We've got to stand for something. They were the example. They were the role model of the ultimate sacrifice. And all they want us to do today on this earth is to heal, to remember them, and allow them to be an example, to give us the courage in difficult times to do something great for somebody else. And that somebody else may be that lady we go by at 100 miles an hour that we don't stop and talk to, and maybe we got to slow down, and we've got to be the hero to somebody else. You know, they didn't die in vain. They live on in another place. But the day will come, I assure you, the day will come when we will be reunited with them. And I look forward to the day when we walk together and you say to me, we talked about him, we talked about her, we visited in your office in the Capitol, the Statehouse. I really always wanted you to meet them. This is my son. This is my daughter. This is my daddy. This is my mom. The day's coming. I look forward to it. God bless all of you. And when I'm in your communities, you please come out and spend a day with me. We'll have some fun. God bless you.